Hey guys, welcome back to Truman's Town Hall. My name's Matt Truman. Thank you for downloading this episode. I hope you share this with a friend. Let's get started. Now, I know I haven't put a podcast out for like 3 months. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to explain it to you right here. What happened was in February, like the mid-February, right about the time I was going to put a podcast out, I had some things lined up to do a podcast, actually, and I still have it lined up. That's what we're doing today. We're going to do a little bit of that and then talk about some of the current issues happening today in Heber Heights. But what happened was I got sick, and I was sick for a month, so ran into March. And as you know, City Council canceled a meeting to go to the meeting in Washington, D.C., to gallivant with all the politicians in D.C. No, I'm just kidding. They went to the, NCLC? No, it's the National League of Cities. They go to these conferences once in a while, and, you know, just having said that, I want to challenge you to, you know, go to a city council meeting, sign up for city comments, and ask them, what did you learn by spending all that money to go to those conferences? What did you learn that's going to better Heber Heights? I'm sure there are things, but it's important that we know what's going on. So I challenge you, do that. Anyway, so they canceled that meeting, so we didn't really have much going on during the beginning of March. Then my car got sideswiped of our house, so we had to deal with that. Then our house got struck by lightning and took out a couple of TVs and things that were plugged into. They were plugged into surge protectors, and still, boom, sayonara. So all that's, you know, it's been a fabulous March, and I'm glad it's April. It's actually, I'm recording this on April 5th, and we'll put it out tomorrow, April 6th. But yeah, that's been going on, and that's why it's been 3 months before we've had a podcast. So we're going to do it upright. Now, let's get started.
Yes, Mr. Otto.
Absolutely. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
I appreciate you bringing this, and I certainly appreciate your department. You guys do amazing work. We hear that over and over and over again. Thank you so much for that. With that being said, though, every conversation that we've had since I've sat here concerning our fire department always comes in that same way. We do a great job. We got good response times. Crews aren't putting in a bunch of OT, things of that nature. And if this was something that was needed, if it was based on necessity, I would be well open to that discussion. However, we made promises to people in 2014 and 2015 over and over and over again that said, if you continue one taxable amount and you add an additional one, we won't fire people. We will maintain our current services. We were threatening 7 people from the police department and 5 from the fire department would be let go without these things. And that was, all this literature, all this information states that. Comments from the dais state that from several people. Again, if this was services that we needed, if we weren't able to maintain or able to service our community, that'd be great. But I will agree with where the mayor stated earlier when he was talking about our public services division. They are extremely strapped. That's one department we could really bolster. Our police and fire services are doing an amazing job, and I thank them for that. They're doing well. I think we need to focus on things that we need more so than those things that we may want. I understand a lot of it may be said it's gearing up to provide future services, and I understand that as well. But I just wanted to point out that promises made, promises kept was a comment that's been put out multiple times, and I agree with that. We need to keep the promises that we've made, and one of those promises was, citizens, if you pass these levies for us, We won't let go of people. We will simply maintain what we have right now, and this will get us through the year 2025. That's what was said over and over and over again. So for those reasons, I won't be supporting this evening. If ever we come to a time that we need those additional staff people because they're necessary, absolutely. But if we can use monies to provide services in other areas of our community where we absolutely need it instead, I prefer to do that. So thank you.
All right, that was Councilman Glenn Otto talking, I believe it was February the 12th, talking about the additional fire personnel that council voted for. And this is basically, you have to go back in time, and we will. I'll bring up the clips, and we will prove what he was saying was right. Maintain until 2025. Let's just play something right here. All right, just check this out, and then we'll come back.
This issue 13 that's on the ballot is not a temporary fix. That's why we call it the 2025 plan. This will keep the services that we currently enjoy till 2025 with no further taxes. But we must pass this levy, this continuation. It's no new taxes. It's what you're already paying. It's just a continuation of what we have now.
Okay, so that little clip comes from the candidate forum before the actual election for issue 13. Now, what did you hear there? We heard several things. And that was from a sitting council person. One who I respect, one who I think is a fabulous person. Okay? So there's no issue there. But there were some things that we learned right there. When you go back in time, that was 2015. What was said was, this will keep the services that we currently enjoy at the 2015 level. And I've talked to people. I've talked to some of your leaders who say, well, look at the call rates and look at this and look at that. That's not that's not what's been discussed. Okay, hold on.
This will keep the services that we currently enjoy till 2025. Until
2025. Now, you're saying, well, that's a candidate talking, Matt. How was it sold to the people of Huber Heights? How was this issue sold to the people of Huber Heights?
Hi, I'm Rob Schomer, City Manager of Huber Heights.
Hello, my name is Mark Leitner. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Huber Heights.
Hi, my name is Mark Ashworth. I'm the Fire Chief for the City of Huber Heights. First, I want to thank the community for passing Issue 19 last November. That enabled us to continue to maintain the high quality of public safety services and other quality of life services here within the community. Issue 19 was step one of our two-step plan. And that two-step plan involves stabilizing our finances for the next 10 years through 2025.
Okay. What was said? Maintain through 2025. At the time, the current sitting council person of 2015, the at-large, Ms. Jan Vargo, said it. You now have the city manager say it. And now, different things are needed. Your taxes are at the highest tax bracket, one of the highest tax brackets. But in order to maintain those city services and not have all the cuts, you had to pass these new tax levies. If not, they were cutting everything. But now we're adding. Because why? Because we have the money, we can maintain, everything's great now. Why is that? Was that levy needed? Come 2025, do you believe that they will not ask for a renewal? Think about this for a minute. Do you have any new additions to Huber Heights? New additions that this city is providing? That is an extra cost. Ask yourself that question. So we had to raise taxes because I was there and I voted for it because, like the majority of Huber Heights, we were nervous. We did not want to lose all that stuff. Nobody wanted to lose the resource officers to the schools. Nobody wanted to lose the ambulance. Nobody wanted to lose all the police and firemen. Nobody wanted to lose the $100,000+ that they were going to cut from other city services either. Nobody wanted to lose any of that stuff, so we voted for it. Now, ask yourself the question, are there any more things that go beyond what we could afford then that they're paying for now? Extra fire, right? There's extra fire people. There's, I don't know, you got new signage. There's, new dog parks coming up. There's new, a lot of things. New. Are those being paid for by TIF dollars? So far, no. And no before. So the point is, that's where I believe Mr. Glenn Otto was explaining. In the past, you told us maintain city services, but now you're coming back saying we're adding. So we raise taxes because we're in such dire straits that we have to raise taxes on the people of the city, income taxes, in order to pay for basic needs of a city. I have always said, this has been my slogan, if you will, throughout all the time I've been talking about politics on Facebook and on this podcast and running for city council and everything. What I've always said is maintain basic city services. Water, infrastructure, police and fire, okay, basic city services. I don't know. I could go on. And I will for just a second. The people of Heber Heights voted to soften the water. What came first? Water softening or water pressure? The whole city or a few? I'm just asking questions. You guys will have to answer them for yourself. Oh, and I'm providing a little bit of evidence to go along with those questions. Okay, let's play this other clip. And before we do, let's listen. Mr. Otto, he said all this, and then with that came back the retort from the city manager, and it goes a little something like this.
First of all, these are income tax dollars that are earmarked and pointed towards public safety. So we wouldn't be able to take those dollars and say direct them. So if there's a need for increase of funding in another fund, legally would have to do that. Secondly, regarding promises for that in maintaining this, and as I indicated at the work session, that's exactly what is being done. The promise was to build a firehouse in 2006, and it was not done for several years. So that was done, and part of that is to operate and maintain that as well. So everything I agree. I'm glad that you brought all those pieces of literature, because I'm glad to see that everything in there still lies true today, and that we are keeping to those promises, and that we've done a very good job. And as I offered on Tuesday last week, congratulations to everybody for being able to serve the community very well and maintaining the public safety. And as far as a need, I will state that we could certainly drill down. Would we have still, if we would not have been successful, and the community would have said, we want to change our level of services for the community, and we would have lost some people and personnel, would we still be responding to emergencies? We sure would. Would there be a need for those 7 people? Well, that's relative to what the level of service that the community wants. So this is a need to maintain that level of service. So I just want to make sure you're right. We are doing a fantastic job. There have been some adjustments that frankly aren't necessarily sustainable to maintain that level of service, and this plan still falls within keeping everything within 2025, because this isn't new revenue. What this is revenue that is going into a fund balance that project is done and now can be diverted to the operational part of that project and maintaining and keeping that promise. So
I was going to say, with that regard, the funding for these positions is not coming from the general fund. It's coming out of money that is earmarked solely for the fire division. I agree that other divisions need funding. However, that funding cannot be moved out of my capital fund into other portions of the city, from what I understand. And if I may, real quick, we've also since 2009 seen an overall 43% increase in our call volume. And additionally, since 2009, this division has written